on first glance, this seems surprising, but actually it could be totally in keeping with Gary Cohn's outlook to allow the old investment banks go back to their bread and butter of being investment banks that trade and hold securities.
Right. No, it's very consistent with what other people in the administration, including Donald Trump, President Trump, have said about Glass-Steagall. This was a meeting with Cohn and members of the Senate Banking Committee, Democrats and Republicans, yesterday. It was an informal Q&A, and it was Senator Elizabeth Warren who asked the question of Cohn regarding Glass-Steagall, and he did make it clear that he is supportive of some sort of separation between investment banking and commercial banking. And yes, that is consistent and in line with what the administration has said, but it is still striking in that the topic of Glass-Steagall, which could potentially mean the breakup of some of the biggest banks, is not popular. And so to hear a former big bank executive talk about it in such a favorable way is striking.
Elizabeth, what would this mean for the repeal of Dodd-Frank, or the repair, maybe we should say?
It's a good question, and that's sort of, the conversation yesterday, as well as the comments that the administration has made. There aren't specifics out there yet about how this would be done, and quite frankly, how some Dodd-Frank rules would apply if depending on how this were to actually happen. So it remains unclear. What I will say is that any sort of legislation that would make some very big changes, whether that's Dodd-Frank or Glass-Steagall, that would make some big changes to the banking industry, faces an uphill battle, if you will, in Congress. If you just look at the calendar and sort of the agenda already, tax reform, health care, all of the nominations, that this is a conversation that we are just getting started.